A lot of people associate bad habits with smoking, drinking alcohol, watching porn, and all those things are bad habits. Well, if they're a habit, I mean, some people can have a drink and, once a week, and that's not really a big deal. But a lot of people get wrapped up in alcohol and get caught up into it. Smoking anything is not really good for you, and porn, obviously, is not a healthy thing to indulge in. But there's a lot of other bad habits that can disconnect us and block us from being aligned with source as well. And, some of those are like shopping. There's people with shopping addictions. There's gambling. There's overeating even. And habitual gaming. There's even emotions. We can be wrapped up in emotions of fear and anger, even gossiping can be a habit, and it's a bad habit, and you're not going to be one with source when you're watching other people and talking negative about them. So there's a lot of things that can knock us out of alignment with source, and we use these things because we're trying to escape negative emotions, uncomfortable thoughts and feelings in our body. So we want to numb ourselves out or zone out or just, distract ourselves from those feelings and those thoughts that kind of scare us or upset us. Parts of ourselves that we just aren't comfortable with. So to cross the river of change and become one with source, God, Christ consciousness, whatever you want to call, we have to self-regulate our emotions. We have to learn to control our nervous system, to regulate our nervous systems. Because when they're all out of whack and in fear and survival mode, it's really impossible to hear the guidance of our higher self. If we can't align with the frequency of source, if we're living in survival mode, our energy has to match our intentions if we want to manifest good things in our lives. We're manifesting all the time. Sometimes we're manifesting things that aren't so great. So we have to have a clear channel for divine guidance if we want to hear and be led by the Spirit. When we're ruled by ego, fear, or even any emotion, really, we can't hear God. We need to learn to respond instead of react. We need to get out of victim mentality. And man, I could relate to that one. I grew up in a family where everybody felt like the world's unfair. Only people with money are, people who break the law. Basically, we were just victims. We were just taught to feel like victims. And you can't connect with source when you have that kind of thought process going on in your life. Our thoughts, words, and actions need to come into alignment with one another. Our inner self has to match our external goals. They can't be in conflict with each other, or once again, manifestation won't happen. If you enjoy our content, you might want to dive deeper and check out the 2 books that I've written. One is called Unleashing Destiny, which is a deep dive into manifestation and how our brain works to help us manifest. And there's also Believe the Best About Yourself and Your Life, a guide to living beyond childhood trauma. So please check those out. And also you can follow me on Facebook under Boyd Townsend. And also we need to build trust with the universe and more importantly, ourselves. Because if we don't keep the promises we make to ourselves, then we're not going to have confidence in ourselves. We're not going to trust ourselves. And when we don't trust ourselves or have confidence, we can't be aligned with source. Because source is love. Source is belief. Source is knowing. Source is faith and peace. And we can't have any of those things when we don't trust ourselves. I know I pointed out a lot of reasons there that we need to self-regulate our nervous system. Because All these things will knock us off track and stop us from manifesting the wonderful life that we're capable of having. In trying to overcome these things, we could be really harsh with ourselves and try to use shame or self-judgment to get ourselves to change, to step out of these old habits, these old thought patterns, these old distractions, whether it's drinking alcohol or gambling or whatever. Whatever we use to distract ourselves from the emotions that we need to face and learn how to come to terms with them and come to peace with them. And beating yourself up never helps. When we beat ourselves up and judge ourselves, nothing good's going to come out of it. It's just going to make you feel worse, and you're going to go out and you're probably going to do more of what you want to stop doing, whatever that is, whatever that thing is that you do, and you're not really happy about it. You're probably going to do more of that if you feel bad about yourself for doing it. So have self-compassion. There's a lot of ways to overcome these things. There's meditation, and I talk about that a lot. I just also recently started doing vagus nerve reset. Now you can find videos on YouTube. Some of them are 10, 20, some of them are 4 hours long. But you can reset your vagus nerve, and it brings such a peaceful feeling throughout your body. It's almost like a tranquilizer. It really is. I mean, you just get really relaxed. I do the 20-minute one. So check those out. That helps regulate your nervous system. Deep breathing helps. Exercise helps. All these things. But find ways to get out of those old habits and sit there with yourself and face those fears and face those thoughts. And I know it's not fun and I know it's not easy, but self-discipline is like the highest form of self-love and self-respect. If we really love ourselves and respect ourselves, we will discipline ourselves. And I learned that the hard way because I used to take the easy way out. Like I said, I grew up in a volatile family, and the first thing I wanted to do was numb myself with drugs and alcohol, whatever, smoking cigarettes, just pain pills. I wanted to escape myself. I had so much turmoil in my mind and in my emotions that I just wanted to get out of my body, quite frankly. I never wanted to kill myself. I just didn't want to feel that way. And I would do whatever it took not to feel that way. So I understand this. But there's ways to get out of this. There are ways to get out of this and change your habits, change your patterns, change your mindset, change your nervous system. It has to be at a calm, peaceful place if you really want to walk and have guidance from source. All right. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you guys.